Hello and welcome to the Toolkit entry for the 5D process. You may have been working on the 5D process already, or maybe this is your first time, but this is more of like a formal example or how to complete the 5D process. It looks like a lot of stuff, but really, once you get hang of it, the 5D process is really just an organized way for you to solve problems. The 5 Ds stand for describe, define, do, decide, and declare. So it's kind of a little catchy way to help you to remember the 5 things, like your 5 fingers. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to color code the different parts of what the 5D process should look like, and you've got options. You can either get a printed copy of this, and you can highlight, color code, highlight along as I do, or follow along, pay attention, and then when you're done, you can download or upload the PDF into Notability, and then you can highlight it yourself. But ultimately, I do want to see your toolkit page color-coded here. So let's start with a describe. It's pretty much what it sounds like. I'm going to describe the problem. So a word problem is usually a paragraph with a bunch of information in it, and we need to bring out the important pieces of information. Now, we're not about you guys, having to write all this extra stuff for no reason. So here's the deal. We will let you highlight the important information from the problem if you have it in a PDF, or maybe it's on a worksheet or a test and the paper's right in front of you. Go ahead and highlight those important pieces of information. But if the problem is on a different page than the paper that you're writing on, then we do want you to just write out the important pieces of information so you don't forget. All right, so you're going to list the important pieces of information, or you can draw a picture. If the problem is talking about a rectangle, I would probably draw a rectangle and just label the sides with the information that I know. The important thing for you to remember about the describe is that you're reading the problem carefully so that you can pick out everything that's needed to solve the problem. Okay, let's go to the define part. Now, this is a little bit tricky, but if you set up the define and take a little bit of time to do it correctly, everything else should go pretty smoothly. So for the define, if you look at the table that I have below, all this part here is the define section. And in the define section, I need as many columns as I have missing values. If we were talking about a rectangle problem where we were missing the base and the height, then I would need 2 columns, one for the base and one for the height. If I was talking about a triangle, I might need 3 columns, one for each side, or it could be something different. So the first thing you need to do is pay attention to what values are missing that are going to help me figure out the problem. So if you look right now, it says, what is it, okay, and how do I get it? Those are the important headings that you need for every single column, okay? So you must label each column. So the top of the columns tells us what are we doing in this column. Is it the base? Is it the height? Is it the third side? Is it Jimmy's money? Whatever it is, you need to label with words what each column is talking about. And then how do you get it? You're going to get this information from the problem. So here's the first important part. Whatever you decide you're going to start with, okay? Whatever you decide you're going to start with, that's your guess, and that's how you're going to get it. You're always going to guess one value. And then from there, you're going to use the information from the problem to figure out the other values. So here, we have to use words, or hopefully later on, we'll be using expressions to tell us how we're going to get the problem. So just as an example, let's say I guess the base. Maybe I'll have a B here because I'm going to guess the base. And then over here I might have that the height is 3 more than the base. So I would have the base plus 3. So that would be up at top, by the way. I just don't have room. That would be the how do I get it, okay? All right, let's go to the do. It's a 2-letter word there. But to do, there's going to be something that tells you what to do. If we're talking about a rectangle, maybe it gives us the perimeter. So what that means is what I'm going to do is have to figure out the perimeter. So this part is my do part. I still have to label what is it. Maybe I would say perimeter. And then how do I get it? I still have to label how am I going to get the perimeter? Base plus height plus base plus height. Or maybe there's other ways. Okay, so for the do part, there is something in the problem that gives you a lot of information that you're going to have to do with the values to the left. Okay, so the deciding part, whoops, wrong thing, sorry about that. Let me erase this. Oh, it's not letting me erase. So I'm going to pretend I was going to highlight the decide part in red. So for the decide, that's this last little column, I need to figure out, did my values work out? So the thing that I did, or that I'm going to do, like calculate perimeter, I'm going to decide, is that the right answer because of what the number was in the problem? So the decide column, so it says here, what does your do have to equal? That's in the problem. If it's not correct, that's okay. It's still good information. So we need to use the answer you get for this trial to help you make a better guess for the next trial. And then soon you'll be able to focus in and you'll get the exact answer. And then last, we've got the declare. Once you get, oh whoopee, this is the right answer for my decide, then I need to go back and I'm going to first, so when my do matches up with my decide, I'm going to go back and read the question to be reminded what exactly it was that I need to figure out. So what was the question asking? And then I'm going to write a sentence. Do you see that word sentence? Answering what the question was. So I don't have to write a paragraph, just a sentence. It needs to be simple, but it should completely answer. Make sure you label units if there are any units. And that's pretty much the 5D process here. So again, it sounds like a lot. This just took me 7 minutes to explain it, but once you get going, you guys will be able to get this done. You'll set it up, solve it, get your answer done. If you have any questions, please ask. If you didn't highlight on paper, make sure you import this into Notability and do your highlighting now.